This time on MTV.
But we took the wreck down to Harp Supermarket parking lot and restaged it.
And I put my feet through the railing and I got stuck.
Probably a 15, 20-foot drop. He was screaming and went through the briar. We are finishing up the book of Deuteronomy.
All God wants you to be is who He created.
Maybe you're not a girl that wears frilly dresses and makeup all the time. That's okay.
When you're secure in yourself, I can agree to disagree with you. Magician.
Magician. I think yes.
Yes.
It's an Innie.
You going with Inny?
We're going with Innie.
Cake.
Kind of want another lemon cookie.
Not like
my gut says no, but
Like a protein bar in the Bible?
I think it's Audi.
I think it's Audi.
It's an Audi HD.
Well,
Mike the Baptist.
Hey, welcome to Mike the Baptist. Second week with Becky Jenkins. Nice to see you back.
Thanks for having me back, Michael.
Are y'all studied up? As you could tell last week, we are really, highbrow, intelligent.
Yes, I'm ready.
Conversationalist.
I'm ready for what you got this time.
Okay. I believe you. Anyway,
Maybe.
glad you're back. AC Jones,
hey.
glad you're back.
All right again.
You have to be, so
Yeah.
It's just me and you, kind of, so you got to be there. I'm Mike the Baptist. Nice to meet you all. I'll be him the whole program, and you all be yourselves, and we'll all have a good time and have some fun things to talk about. We're going to play Inny or Outty at the end of the program. We had a great Inny or Outty round last week.
Pretty exciting.
Pretty exciting.
I'm 1-1.
1-1. It was very silly last week, which I'm not opposed to. I kind of like that. A little silliness never hurt anybody.
Nate, I want to go back because you were talking about popcorn glued on a plate.
Yes.
I wonder if you glued just the kernels on the plate and then put it in the microwave, if they would pop and stay there, or how that would work.
I don't know, but you'll know here pretty soon.
Okay.
Because
that sounds like
it's a
something.
dare
Sounds
to
like
me.
a fire waiting to happen.
That might be. No, you can put paper plates in the.
Yeah, you can. It's the glue that I'm wondering about. What happens to Gorilla Glue if you stick it in a microwave?
I learned real quick, like you can put a potato in saran wrap and bake a potato that way.
Yes.
But do not take olive oil and put on that potato, because that olive oil will get really hot and melt the plastic.
Have you
Wow,
ever put a
interesting.
bar of Dove soap in the microwave?
No.
Oh, it's a lot of fun.
Does it swell up? And
Yes, it expands.
I think I
It
saw a
just
video
keeps
of that.
expanding.
Really?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
a great object lesson for something at church.
One of my good friends growing up when I was real young, his dad was the county sheriff, and I'd go spend the night with him once in a while, and the jailhouse had an apartment. So all night long, they'd be bringing drunks through the kitchen and then taking them upstairs to the jail. But anyway, it was kind of weird. But in the little kitchen area there was a microwave, and I remember him putting an egg in there one night.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't leave it in the shell. He was smart. He cracked it and he put it in a styrofoam cup. It still blew up.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, it's just a memory I've had
Yeah.
from long ago. Oh, yeah. In or Outty at the end, and then we're going to have a front porch visit coming up. We're going to talk
Fantastic.
about snow memories. It's getting that time of year, and it's already snowed a little once here in Middle Tennessee. Anyway, we'll do that. In the middle, we'll talk about some stuff found in the Bible. What are we talking about today?
We are finishing up the book of Deuteronomy. Can you believe that?
No. But I'm ready.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
It's a long book. What are we talking about, kind of specifically?
Kind of Joshua becoming the leader, Moses giving his final blessing, and then how we can trust God.
Sweet.
Yep.
Sounds like Bible stuff. We'll talk about it.
Yep. Expound
on it. MikeTheBaptist.com, it's a website. Go look around. Comments at MikeTheBaptist.com is our email address. And thanks for the emails that we got this week about front porch topics. We're not using any of them this week, but we might in the future. Anyway, send us some more. We'll stack them up, and we'll have them.
Save them for later.
We'll save them for later. But anyway, we're going to do that here in just in. No, I was asking you to send an email. Send an email. On the front porch today, I'm going to start because mine is very serious and not funny. So, y'all's might be funny. May not be. I remember as a kid, in Arkansas, we got really big snows in Arkansas. When I moved to Tennessee, I was disappointed because in Arkansas you get several 8, 10-inch, 12-inch snows every year. And I moved to Tennessee, and at the time I moved here,
Yep.
you're lucky to get one.
Right.
But it's changed. We've been getting some pretty good ones since over the years. But anyway, I can remember being real young, and you know that feeling when you're a kid when your nose is cold, your ears are cold, and there's snow, and you want to be out in it, but you're cold, and you still do it anyway. You know that feeling? Your nose is runny, but there's just something exciting about it. My granddad used to take us to the old original Blackwood place. It was a dog trot style log cabin that some relative over the years had put siding over, and that was the second home place of my granddad's family. Was the Blackwoods. They came to the hills of Arkansas as logging people, and they lived in a little log cabin, built another cabin, and then they moved up to that big dog trot. Anyway, he would still go over there.
That's a move up because that just sounds.
Yeah.
No, it was a move up. Yeah,
Dog trot. You'll have to
well,
explain.
it was two big rooms and an open. You know the log cabins. You have a big room on one side, big room on the other, and then there's like a porch that's covered that goes all the way through.
That's called a dog trot.
That's a dog trot, and you keep your firewood there and stuff like that.
Who knew?
But anyway, I grew up playing in that. I didn't really understand until I was grown what it was, but he would go over there, and somebody in the family seeded turnips all over the hill behind that old place, and he would go over there once in a while and get turnips and greens, and my brother and I would play in that old log cabin. Anyway, long story short,
like
it
a
snowed.
Hallmark movie.
Yeah, during the snow, my granddad would go over there and hunt rabbits, and he would take us. I think he was trying to teach us to hunt, but we didn't pay that much attention. In fact, he used that 410 over and under gun right there is what he rabbit hunted with. And anyway, he was a good shot. He was right-handed, but he shot left-handed. But he could knock a bird out of a tree way off. It's interesting. Anyway, he would take us rabbit hunting. I just have this memory of tromping through the snow and him seeing these little tracks and trying to see where them rabbits went. And then I was always torn between whether or not I wanted him to shoot one of those or not, because it was a thrill when he shot one. They flopped up, and then he took them home. But then it was also kind of disturbing that he's shooting bunnies. Mm-hmm. Anyway, same with squirrels. He would take us to squirrel hunting too. But I have this, and when you mention snow, I usually have that thought in my head. The other thought is when I was a teenager and it snowed and iced, and where I'm from, you go to town anyway and run around. If snow or not, you just go. It's just what you do. But a bunch of us were in town one night, and two of us, we were sliding and doing ice donuts around the town square. This was like 11 or 12 at night, and we ran into each other. Mm-hmm. And we figured that if the policeman came, we needed to report it, but we figured if they came on the town square, that we'd get in big trouble. So we took the wreck down to Harp Supermarket parking lot, way down the highway, and restaged it. And then we called them, and they came out. So
Did they figure that out?
Nope. Snow memories. We later determined that really that didn't matter. It was the same accident. Yeah. We just, when you're young and stupid.
Yeah.
Snow. Okay, those weren't terribly exciting, but Becky, do you have snow memories?
When we grew up, it seems like there was much more snow than what we get now. Yep. And like we were out forever. It wasn't just,
One year we went on Saturdays, remember?
Yes, we went on Saturdays. We were just out of school all the time for the snow. But where I lived growing up in White House, it was our house, and then the Spates house, the Ragsdale's house, and then the Joneses house. And so the four of us, we all had kids about my age. Like we would go out as soon as we got that. We saw Snowbird come across Channel 4 that you were out. We were out in all our long johns and all of our stuff. My dad's socks pulled up to my knees. There's something warm about dad's socks. I don't know. And just as many socks as we could get on and shove our little feet in. We were out from the time they said go till it was just pitch black, dark. we'd come in and have a little something for lunch, but as soon as we could get right back out there for snowball fights and building forts and all the things. But one year I remember that I had come in for lunch. I don't even know how old I was, probably 5 or 6. And I had taken off all the layers. And I had a 4-poster princess little bed. And I was eating my lunch on my bed for some reason. And I put my feet through the railing of my little princess bed. And because I had gotten so cold, and as I took off all these layers, my feet started swelling. And I got stuck. I got stuck in this little princess bed for quite a while because we weren't going to break the bed. So, but yeah, that was but it was just so much fun.
Yes,
being out all day playing, and it wasn't
it wasn't dangerous back in.
It wasn't dangerous. Ginormous hill on Union Road that, when you're little, you think it is just the biggest hill ever. Mm-hmm. And we're going down it. We didn't care if the cars were coming. It just all day long, up and down that hill, sledding all day long.
And nighttime, did you stay out in the night? Because
yes.
There's something real special about being a
yes.
kid and being out in the snow at night, too.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Wow.
Love the snow.
Yeah, I do, too. Snow is lots of fun.
Yeah, till you get old. It's just cold.
Yeah, when you get old, you ride the 4-wheeler,
and you get back in pretty quick.
Yeah, come back in pretty quick.
Yeah. Okay, H, hey, did y'all ever tie grocery bags around your feet?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Just check it.
Bread bags.
Poor man's galoshes. So yeah, especially as a teenager. Oh my gosh, we got in so much. I won't say trouble because we didn't do anything just bad, but just stupid stuff. So you'll know this over at the Greenbrier Golf Course. The number 2 hole where it goes down toward the water and then comes back up.
Right.
So we go over there one day and decide to build a ramp to jump the little creek. Well, we spend hours building this ramp and packing it and pouring water over it.
That's a steep drop
and
too.
We get on this hill yeah. And we go, and it basically went through the ramp and just hit the bank, and we about killed ourselves.
Right.
That was bad. And then one year when it iced real bad and nobody was on the road, we went over to Tenon Hill. And Tenon Hill has got all these curves, and you could literally get on your runner sleds and go down this hill. Well, we would get 2 guys on each runner sled. So there'd be one guy who would sit in the back and put his feet up to steer, and another guy in the front kind of watching. Well, we'd go down 2 or 3 sleds at a time, and we'd fight all the way down. And we were just having a big time. Well, a buddy of mine, they started going faster than us, and it made me mad. And I reached over and I kicked the back of his sled, and y'all, he went off. Wow. Probably a 20-foot drop. I thought he broke his arm. He was screaming and went through the briars and everything. And so, yeah, we had to go home after that. But, yeah, we had a lot of fun doing that stuff.
I hope it snows soon now.
I know, right?
I do, too. When I was a little girl, this is a little quirky little story about Becky. When I was a little girl, that when the water would come down off the gutters and it would create little icicles, I would save all those icicles, and I would keep them in the freezer. And then at night when I was bored or whatever, I would take them into my room, and I was like a scientist, and I was, looking at all the different ways that the icicles were made. And my mom would come in, my dad would come in, and find this big puddle of, because they didn't last.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah, I don't know why, but I can remember doing that all the time.
Did y'all ever build an igloo?
We tried. We were not successful.
We never could build one. It's a lot of work to build an actual igloo.
Yeah.
We did have caves. We had snow caves.
Some buddies of mine and I actually made the paper one year. We built this giant 8 or 9 foot tall snowman with a big nose and a hat, and made the paper with a guy that photographer for the paper. He was kind of a buddy of mine. He was a little crazy too, but he kind of followed us around looking for something to happen, and it usually did. But anyway,
Do you think our memories were things that really as good as what our memories?
They were as good, but they didn't happen exactly the way we remember them.
Yeah.
I know Michael, my son, talks about that every now and then, about things he used to remember one way and how they really were. That's kind of interesting. But the snow memories in my head are great. Yeah. I'm going to leave the stories just like they are, true or not.
Yep.
Because they're fun. Okay, that was fun. I might have to talk about that again sometime because I got all these new things popping up in my head. Stories just kind of keep coming up there. Okay. Meanwhile, we'll take a break, come back, talk about some stuff found in the Bible.
This episode of Mike the Baptist is being presented commercial-free for your enjoyment by Michael Jackson, licensed realtor in Middle Tennessee. Rather than have you bombarded by pleas to buy things, Michael Jackson, the realtor, wanted to sponsor today's program and allow you to simply enjoy the content rather than worry about somebody trying to sell you stuff. Oh sure, Michael Jackson, realtor, might help people buy and sell houses and land in Middle Tennessee, but he doesn't actually sell things directly. So technically, this is not a commercial to sell you anything at all. It's simply an announcement to you that you don't have to listen to commercials on this episode because Michael Jackson, the realtor with Finch Real Estate in White House, Tennessee, 615-957-5064, is sponsoring this commercial-free program. This in no way, of course, means that if you're wanting to shop for a house or sell one or some land, that you shouldn't contact Michael Jackson, the realtor, because you should. He's fair, he's helpful, knowledgeable about the real estate market, and he's fun to work with. Okay, I'm Michael Jackson, the realtor, Finch Real Estate. And this is a commercial because my work as a real estate agent helps me have the time and resources to produce these Mike the Baptist programs. So feel free to call me for any of your real estate needs. I'll help you out all I can, and I'll do my best to make buying and selling your house a good experience. 615-957-5064. I'm number 2. Everybody else claims to be number 1.
Hi, HD. I've asked you before, but you know I'm going to ask again. Tell me something you find interesting about the Bible. Brief. Yes.
It's an awesome collection of not just stories, but you really start realizing how detailed God is. I mean, it's in there on purpose for a purpose.
Detail. I hadn't thought about
God's
that.
a very detailed creator. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, but you know what? I don't think everything is even in there. There's so much that we
right?
can't know.
Well, the Bible even says that. If everything was written about Jesus, there wouldn't have been enough books.
Do you know something I heard this week? You can take every planet in our system. What are there, 9 of them or something?
Depends. Is Pluto?
Pluto.
Well, yeah, include it. If you take every one of those planets, put them side by side, there's still more distance between the Earth and the Moon.
Oh, really?
Than that would take up.
Huh.
Isn't that fascinating?
Really?
Yes. So that's how far away the Moon is. And you don't think about that because you see it right up there. Mm-hmm. I recently got my big telescope out that my family got me years ago, and I never really fine-tuned it, but I got it out and kind of fine-tuned it within the last couple of weeks, and I've been looking at the moon and stuff, and I get all real dreamy about that stuff. But then I heard that guy say that about all the planets, and I'm going like, wow. That is vast.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, detailed. Briefly. What are we talking about in the Bible?
We are finishing up the book of Deuteronomy, and if you think about it, again, here's this group of young people that are fixing to go into the promised land. Moses can't go. Joshua has been named the leader. Moses is giving a blessing. And I want to read just one passage of Scripture because I think it kind of leads into what's going to be happening.
Before you start,
yes,
you said young people.
Young people.
I've never heard it presented that way. He was about to lead a group of young
people because that generation that said no and they wandered around in the desert, it was everybody who was 20 years and older that died.
Really?
So this is that second generation. So they would have been, I mean, they could have been 50 or 60 at this point if they were a kid and their mom and dad, 40 years we walked around the desert. So if they were 10, then they'd now be 50. But still,
probably most of them
still relatively young group of people, right?
Okay, all right.
And so Moses is kind of giving this blessing, and he says, "Indeed, he loves his people. All your holy ones are in your hand, and they assemble at your feet, and each receives your words." So that's Deuteronomy 33:3. So that was part of Moses' blessing to the people. And the thing that I really wanted to talk about today is this idea of the security that we have in God. What is it about your relationship with God that gives you security?
Security, as in, can you fine tune that just a little bit?
Well,
That's a big question.
Yeah, I think in the last episode we talked a little bit about peace, and we talked a little bit about purpose in life. So what is it about your relationship with God? What is it about this unique connection we have with God that provides us with security? What is it about God that causes us to be at peace?
So, as I often do, it may get boring, but I'm going to do it anyway. I remember my granddad, greatest man I've ever known. He was so solid. But with him, you felt safe. You felt like you had a leader. You felt like you had somebody who had an answer. That was security. It's like you didn't have to worry when you were around him or with him. And he raised me. He was my dad. He was my granddad, but he was my dad. But it was just solid. He was just he was solid. He was not fancy. He wasn't one of the town people, He was a country guy, but he was incredibly well respected. And there was a security even in that, because around other people, you knew that they knew him. And you had a little bit of a sense of pride that you belonged to him. So you're asking about what about the God thing. Kind of seems the same to me, that we're included when we accept him and become a follower and all that. We're included in his family, just like I was with my granddad. There was no question about it. It felt safe, secure. Seems like it's kind of the same thing, maybe.
That God wants our very best. He wants us to be the very best that we can be. And our parents, they want us to be all that we can be. Our spouses want us to be all that they can be. We want our kids to be all that they can be, to be the very best that they can be. But there's only so much influence that we as a human parent can give to our kids. But God, the ultimate best that we can be, if we truly have a relationship with him and seek that relationship and seek his will and seek his guidance. No one else can have that much influence on your life that God can have on your life.
Something I just thought about, Becky, is that you're talking about wanting you to be the best you can be. I think all God wants you to be is who he created. Which in a way should take a lot of pressure off of you, because I'm not trying to be you. I'm not that organized. I'm not trying to be you. I'm not that redneck.
Oh yeah, you're that. Well, where's the button, Barry?
Give me one over there. No, what I'm saying is, it was kind of dawning on me as you
we
were
are the
saying
best that we are if we're just who he created
That's
us to
right.
be.
He created us to be something good in his mind, and that's why there's out of 8 billion people, they're all different.
Yeah.
He did that. It was just dawning on me that to be your best, you just need to be what he created, which means, I guess, stop trying to be somebody else. And interesting.
I think one of the stresses that we have in our culture right now is things like social media. We tend to look at other people and evaluate ourselves based on why don't I have their family? Why don't I have their fun? Why don't I have their success? And when you really come to understand who God is, and this goes back to this idea of being who God's created you to be. When you really understand who God's created you to be and wants you to be, you are successful. You are happy. You're happy doing what you do. I watch you play mandolin and instruments, and I'm like, man, that'd be awesome. But you know what? God didn't create me to do that. And so for me to try to make myself, I might could learn some things, but I wouldn't I probably wouldn't enjoy it as much as you do.
The God-given talent.
The talent.
You're going to have to learn.
Right.
And could probably be
Right.
successful in that, but the true joy and
Yes.
the God-given talent that he's given you, I could never
You just do what
could
you
never
want
match
to
that.
do, but
And
and he
again-
puts that in you though.
And again, this whole concept of me having a relationship with God, it's really weird. I mean, there's just three of us here in this room, right? We're all unique, we're different, and yet God has a love for all of us, but yet he loves you specifically, he loves me specifically, he loves Becky specifically. And that's really hard for us to understand. I think when you have kids, you can kind of get a better understanding of that. So with my three kids, my daughter has much more of a musical talent than the boys. And if she said, Daddy, I've got this song for you, and she sang it, I would be pleased with that. If one of my boys came and said, I got a song for you, I probably would be laughing because I'm like, that's not your talent. But I can see how they compare themselves. Well, I can't sing like her, so I'm not going to do anything, and really all God wants you to do is just be you, right? And so I think that's a big part of this.
Hey, I'll tell you something else too that I've learned. It's easier to be yourself than it is to be somebody else.
Right.
It's just a lot easier.
Right.
Just accept it.
It's so heartbreaking to me to see some of our young kids, our youth, struggling with identity crisis, gender crisis, and it's just very simple. Just be who God made you to be. Maybe you're not a girl that wears frilly dresses and makeup all the time. That's okay. God made you to be a female.
Right.
Be the female that he made you to be. Same thing for a man or a male. If you're, more on the feminine side, whatever that may be, that's okay. Be who God made you to be, and just, we bring so much, or
just don't put the dress on.
just don't put the dress on. We just bring on so much hurt for ourselves and so much stress trying to be who we aren't.
Yeah.
Trying to be who not who God made us to be.
That's uncomfortable.
And then the social media just,
Yeah, it's
like
it's
HG
bad.
said,
It's bad.
it's just bad.
It's bad. The influencers, as they call them now, it's
Pinterest, that your home has to look this way,
Because
your
it's,
family
it's
has to
this
look this
idea.
way.
It's this idea that we're all cookie cutters. That our success is based upon how I compare to you, and this should free us all up. God doesn't compare any of us to somebody else. You think about the parable of the talents. One had 5, one had 2, one had 1. The master never comes back and says, well, why didn't you do what the guy with 5 did? He looks at each one and says, what did you do with what I gave you? And so it's this kind of idea that, every barrel sits on its own bottom. And, you and I
I've never heard that before.
have to be content, number one, but we also are called to be accountable to God for what he's given us to do.
A good way to like everybody, because there's people that are hard to like. A good way to like them better is when you look at them, understand that God made that person right there. You didn't.
Yep.
It makes you think, Now, some of them are still unlikable.
Well, and being secure in yourself.
Oh, yeah.
When
yeah.
you're secure in yourself, I don't know if y'all know this or not, but pastoring is not always easy because everybody's got an opinion. But if I'm secure enough in myself, I can agree to disagree with you and be okay. Now, it may hurt my feelings if you didn't like something that I thought we should do, but I won't go home and be manic depressed because you thought, we should have done it this way. So I think that helps is when we understand that we're created by God, for a purpose. And as much as, we look alike and we're similar in some things, we're very unique.
Yep.
We need to judge ourselves by the mirror that God gave us.
Right.
Who we are in his creation. What does his word say about how he created each of us? Not based on how the next person looks or what what social media says I should look like or what the gyms say I should look like. Look in the mirror that God gave you, and are you being who he created you to be? And I think women in general are much worse about judging each other than men are, and I think we do ourselves a disservice when we begin to judge each other by our fleshy mirrors and not the mirror of God.
And kind of along with that is this idea, because in this passage it talks about this idea of reverence for God, or a holy fear of God. And so kind of talk about what that means. What do you think that means in your world? What does it mean to have reverential awe or even fear for God or of God?
Can I bring the granddad up again?
Absolutely.
It meant that, one, you learned where not to cross the line with him, because he could have some wrath too.
Yeah.
I mean, he could bring it down. He could bring the hammer down, but you learned where that line was, and then as you grow, you learn why there was a line there, and you kind of learn to appreciate it. The other is he had the answers. He just had the answers, so you just trust him, and he had the answers. Sometimes he'd let you find it yourself. Sometimes he'd let you ask him. But he usually had the answer, and if he didn't have an exact answer, he could help you find it or help you get along. So to me, fear, when you're talking about fear of God, it's a mixture of all of that together. It's a reverence, and it's an actual fear of the consequence, the wrath, which I don't see anything wrong with having that fear either as a Christian, because some of us are darn hard-headed. Yeah. I mean, very hard-headed. And without a little bit of fear, some of us would just kind of...
Well, Jesus said, don't fear the ones that can just kill your body, but fear the one who can kill your body and your soul.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, he is God, and he says it. That's who you need to fear, and have a healthy fear. I don't know that means run and hide as much as it means that opportunity to go, yeah, he's right, he's always right, and I need to obey him.
You know what it is? It's understanding who he is.
Oh, absolutely.
It's understand who he is and his position versus your own position. It's pretty simple.
And again, relationship keeps coming to mind. And even last week when we talked to have a relationship with the Lord, even now at 55 years old.
Why are you beeping relationship?
I'm buzzing because that word relationship.
We know what that means. That's a simple word.
At 55 years old.
Wait a minute, she's not even going to explain it now.
The last thing that I want to do is disappoint my dad.
Yeah.
Or my mom. And there are many times that I have seen the look of disappointment in my, of me in my parents, or me as a parent being disappointed in my children. I can only imagine
right.
the look of disappointment that God would have at me in times.
A buddy of mine told me, he said, one of the worst days of his life, he was up at Western Kentucky and, got out and got pulled over for a DUI and got put in jail, and he was underage, and so Mom came to the jail, right? And he said, I was dreading it, and he said, I would have rather her come in with a baseball bat and beat me up. As soon as she made eye contact, she dropped her head and walked out.
Ouch.
She said, it killed me.
Ouch.
It killed me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that disappointment.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So that's a fear.
Yeah.
A healthy fear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I think a couple of weeks ago, we had our missions team sharing at church about all the places that they had gone. And Becky, you can help me. We were in Canada, Lynch, Kentucky, Honduras, Dominican Republic, Ireland, and Nepal.
Mm-hmm.
And there were all these spots of light on the map where Temple had sent individuals. Well, the accountant in me, the cost accountant in me especially, started going, about $50,000 we've spent. Now, the church didn't spend. Some of it came out of their own pockets, right? But collectively, we spent about $50,000. And I'm sitting there kind of in my head going, couldn't an organization in Nepal done a whole lot more with $50,000 than us sending 3 people over there to talk for 3 days? But then I was reminded of something in Deuteronomy. One of the things that you get out of the book of Deuteronomy is that the Shema, and it's Deuteronomy 6:4, where it says, "Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one." That's the English version. We can hear that sometimes, and we can say, "Oh, that means God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit." Well, you can use that in that context, but literally in the Hebrew, it says, "Listen and obey, Israel. The Lord our God is God alone." Which means when we send a team to any of these places, we're sending hope. We're sending the gospel because we serve the only God. There's no other God but him. And whether it's a made up God like Allah or Buddha or any of those other false religions, or it's one of our little stone gods like entertainment, whatever, sex, drugs, rock and roll, whatever it is, nothing takes the place of God. They can't, including my spouse, my job, my kids. And so when we start putting that pressure on ourselves and on our spouse and on our job, I think that's why we're stressed out. Because we're asking those created things to be gods in our life, and there really is only one thing that'll fill that deepest need in my life.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm going to share a little story about Canada. HD and I went this summer to Canada on a mission trip, and we were part of the VBS team. And so 16 different countries were represented in these children. We had like 70 kids, so 16 different countries and 70 kids were represented. And these two little boys, Innocent was one of them, and Samuel was the other one.
Innocent?
Innocent was
Wow,
his
what
name.
a neat name.
He wasn't.
He was not. So, but he kicked Samuel. I think that's what he did. He kicked Samuel. Well, Samuel's from the Congo, and he immediately reared back, ready to hit. They separated the two. Another guy on our team said, "Miss Becky, we've got a problem over here." So I went and talked to him, and he just kept running back, and he was cussing, all these profanities all across the VBS field, and all these things. And I was like, "Samuel, you've got to stop. You can't do that." But that's how he was raised. That's how in his culture they solved an issue. To fight, to cuss, he was going to go at this kid. And then he finally calmed down, and he went to Bible study next. And he stayed away from the group. And we kept saying, you need to, Innocent saying he's sorry. Well, every time you would say, he's sorry, or that he's apologizing, he would just rear up again. And so finally he calmed down, and when he went to Bible study, the lesson was on forgiveness. The very thing that he needed to take and offer to Innocent for this little dust up. All that to say, he was doing what he knew in his culture. And if we or whoever is called to go and share those things and we don't, the culture's never going to change. His attitude's never going to change. He's not going to know the love, the hope, the peace, the joy that Christ can give him. And so until we have those things, we're just living in a falsehood, and we're always ready for battle. Mm-hmm. And I think if we can focus more on these things of God, like she said, a lot of our stress is going to be gone, because it's all man-made stress. It's all self-imposed stress. And when we can judge ourselves by how God is judging us and looking at us and telling us what to do, gosh, I just think life would be so much easier. So much easier. And if we could if we could be like Samuel and grow from our mistakes and make changes in our life. He listened so intently to that lesson on forgiveness. Mm-hmm. And I was really worried about him when they walked home.
And his countenance changed.
Yes. And I was really, because they just walked to their neighborhoods. And when I was like, I'm really worried about them walking home together. Well, they're going to duke it out on the way home. Well, they came back the next day and they were best friends. Mm-hmm. but like she said, his whole attitude changed. He was listening. He was soaking it in. And at the end of the week, I was just so proud of him that he kept coming, and I just reminded him that God can change his life. God can change the battle for him.
Sometimes I guess a human just needs it pointed out to them, something. Because people know. I mean, instinctively, when something's not right.
Yeah.
And when somebody else points it out to you.
See, I don't know that he knew that wasn't right. Because that's all that he knew.
I think he might not have knew how to explain it.
Yeah.
But like when it was pointed out to him.
Then he kept saying it was defending his character.
Yeah, it was defending his honor.
Or character or something like that. Yeah.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay. Good talk. If you stumble upon us and you're one of those people that's at the end of your rope, there's a way out of that. You accept Jesus. You understand that you can't work your way out of whatever it is you're in. You accept him, and then you let him know, I don't understand the beans about this, but I'm going to give it a shot. And I promise you, you will have some changes. But you have a choice to make. Mm-hmm. He is going to catch up with you now, or he's going to catch up with you at the very end of your life. One of the two. It's much easier.
Yeah. Right.
If you will stop and let him catch up with you right now, and then live out the rest of your life. And this stuff unfolds every day. It just unfolds and it grows, and you get more peaceful and you get happier, and the world looks a lot rosier. There's still crap, but you see it a lot different. Yeah. So you can either start that right now, or you can wait and be miserable, coming from somebody who has been down that road years ago, who had to get to the last knot on the rope.
You know how not to die in a riptide?
How?
You quit swimming toward the beach and you swim with the current.
Yeah.
And God is that riptide. He's either going to get you to follow him, or he's going to rip your world apart.
Hey, look, you don't have to believe it. That's up to you.
Yep.
He made you.
Yep.
And he's after you. He wants you to be involved. So you can either believe that or don't. That's your choice, but you got to make a choice. Okay. Listen, let's take a break, come back and play Inny or Outty. Okay?
Hey everybody, it's time to play America's almost favoriteest new game show, Inny or Outty, where we challenge our guests to figure out if a phrase we give them is actually in the Bible or out of the Bible. Sharpen your wits, guest. You're about to be in the hot seat of Bible stuff, because you're the next contestant on Inny or Outty. Here's Mike.
Today on Inny or Outty, I just wish you could be in the green room between takes. That's all I'm going to say. See, yeah. Becky? See what happens over here? Are you still scared of it?
No.
Okay, good. I figured we'd get you over that pretty quick.
No.
So today on Inny or Outty, HD has both questions. He demanded.
They're deep theological questions.
And they always are.
Have to be.
Gypsy last week, that was deep.
Right.
I'm still thinking I was right on that one, but
We need to look that up.
Yeah.
You know, we talk about this because sometimes it comes down to we have the translation of the Bible discussion, because some translations, the message, I always say, that's got hiccup in it. I mean, that's got everything in the translation. Is that what it's called? Uh-huh. No, the message.
Yep.
Anyway, HC's asking both questions today. Shoot.
Are you going to tell how we play Inny or Outty?
Should we have to?
I don't know.
You could have a new listener.
All we're going to do is ask, is this in the Bible or out? If it's in,
we're going to say in, right?
No, we're going to say Inny.
Oh, gotcha.
You don't even know how to play. Maybe we do need to explain it.
I'm so confused.
If it's out, it's an out.
All right, so one words. That's been our theme lately.
I like that. I like the word.
Magician.
I have a gut reaction. Becky?
What is your gut reaction?
My initial gut reaction is yes.
That was my initial gut reaction.
Was it?
Wow.
All right, we may be on to something here, but we still have to kill a couple minutes for entertainment purposes.
In what context would it be? Like the magician, like the You know, it's not the top hat and the bunny, but it.
David Copperfield.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not that
I don't think
version.
he would have showed up in
I
the
don't think
Bible.
so. I'm just playing it out.
Well, like the sorcerers and the.
Yes, that's what. Yes.
I think I remember hearing the word magician at some point in my church experience. I think.
I'm trying to recall if I've ever
Now,
heard
that's-
Pastor HD say.
Well, see, that's my gut reaction, but in the recall it, hearing it, actually, no. I think I just said I think I recall hearing it.
I think you
In
did.
my recall, I think I recall.
In your recall.
Yes. Magician. So why would they? You know, I like to work through this. Why would somebody in the Bible say that? A magician, because a magician.
Well, like the healing and when Jesus healed, is it? I don't.
Was it a magic trick,
Yeah.
or was it?
Yeah.
Or were there actually? Come think of it, I don't remember hearing the word sorcerer in there either.
Are you
Maybe
talking-
they used the
are you
word
talking
magician.
yourself out of it?
No. I'm trying to talk myself into it because I have a gut feeling that it's in there.
Yeah. I don't really have a reasoning. I just had the gut feeling of yes, but I had the gut feeling that Gypsy was in it too, and I was wrong.
Well, yeah, I have a lot of gut feelings, though. But the trick here, Becky, is to figure out a way to work yourself into it where you're right anyway.
Okay.
So you have to kind of look for that little
Okay.
window there.
Okay.
I think I've heard it somewhere in something. Because the ones that I know I've never heard, I can just immediately tell you
Yeah.
that my mind just does not think that's there. But I can see magician being in there. I don't think that. I think what's confusing is because in our culture today we think of magician as Copperfield.
As Copperfield and the hat and the bunny and all that. That's definitely not the version.
Who's the two guys?
See,
They're really good.
from Vegas
Yes.
with the lion.
No, not the lion. One of the guys really big, and the other guy's little, and he never says anything.
Yes. Did
love
one of those
them.
pass away?
What?
Oh,
Maybe not.
I
what
don't
is
think
their
so.
name? Rick, not Siegfried and Roy.
That's who I was thinking of.
No.
That's the lion.
That's terrible.
I can see him.
Yeah, I can't tell. I watch him all
He's
the
kind of
time.
blondish. The little one's kind of blondish.
Yes, and he never says a word.
And the other one's big, mustache.
So just a funny.
anyway.
Just a funny aside. The big one. He does this. If we could think of his name, he does this YouTube video.
Penn and Teller.
Penn and Teller.
Yes.
So which one's the big one? Penn.
Penn.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he does this YouTube video where this guy came to a show, and then after the show came up to him and handed him a Bible. And he goes through this whole thing in his own head, basically to say how much he appreciated that guy, because he said, if you actually believe what you say you believe, which basically you would look at somebody like me and say, I was going to hell. Thank you that you cared that I was going to hell, even though I don't think I'm going to hell. But he was kind of broken. It shook him up.
Interesting.
And it's really cool. Yeah.
I can see that in him because
He's a thinker.
he's a logical man. Okay. Is Penn and Teller in the Bible? Is that the question?
Magician.
Magician. I think we think yes.
Yes.
It's an Innie.
I think we're
You going with Inny?
We're going with Innie.
Going with Inny. Actually, it is. Exodus 7.
Yes.
Those two magicians of Pharaoh that turned their staves into snakes.
Oh, so they were actually
They were
performing
called
magic
magicians.
tricks.
Yep.
Magicians.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm curious about sorcerer now.
Yeah,
Because
that's a good
sorcerer
one.
was a whole nother.
That you should have saved that for another week.
That's medieval times.
You better
though.
write that down. It might be one you need to
Oh,
bring
I'll
up.
remember.
Yeah. Yeah.
He'll recall
Steel
it.
trap
I will
memory.
recall that one.
Okay.
Good job.
All right. So we
Yeah.
won, but you have another question
do.
for us. Okay. What is this one?
Cake.
Cake.
Cake. So Becky,
Did we have cake with the fishes and the loaves?
Now, not like a fig cake.
I kind of want another lemon
Not
cookie.
like a fig.
I like lemon cookie.
Is that what they call them in the Song of Solomon? The raisin cakes or
Yeah.
the fig cake?
But did they call that a cake?
Maybe not.
They called it something, or no, they didn't. Cake. So
My gut says no.
my gut says no, but my head says I might remember hearing that in there somewhere, but not like we think of cake. Does that make any sense?
There's any other way to think of cake. Just, chocolate, vanilla.
Busted. I don't think there's any other way. It is what it is. Well, cake. That's a really good.
Yeah.
That's better than popcorn last week. Popcorn was kind of easy.
If you were going to answer that question, Pastor HD, how would you answer it? Let's see.
Man, you know what would be fun is get like Adrian Rogers in here to play Inny.
He's dead.
Well, if he was still living, I don't mean drag him in here. You know what I'm saying?
Zombie, is that in the Bible?
Cake. What are you thinking? Are you thinking no?
I'm thinking no. I'm thinking no, and I have no reasoning for that other than my gut.
Well, I'm torn both ways because I could see where it would be.
Where?
But then you kind of brought it down to earth, saying there's really only one way to look at cake. Cake. I mean, it could be like some people might look at like a nutrient bar as cake, which I don't. I look at it as a nutrient bar, but
like a protein bar in the Bible.
Protein is what I was trying to,
Yeah,
not nutrient. Protein bar. Fig cake, yeah, fig cake. But there was something in Song of Solomon. They went on and on about
There's a
this
lot of Song
raisin
of Solomon.
stuff. You know, something about
Fig.
was it fig or raisin? I was thinking it was like, sun-made raisin stuff. Listen, we're gonna move on. I think it's Audi.
I think it's Audi.
We both think that?
I think
It's an Audi HD.
Well, lucky for y'all, it's one of these words. It's one of these words where actually it's in there, but depends on the translation you're looking at. So you could,
Is it in the SCB?
because 1 Kings 17:13, Elijah said, "Go and make me a small cake first," but some translations say a small loaf.
Oh.
So the word cake was interchangeable with loaf?
Loaf, yep.
Okay.
So it depends on the translation.
Depends on the translation. So I won't,
So we can be right.
You get a half credit at least.
I'm going to play the winning sound effects.
Interesting.
Maybe I could play them both. I've never played them both at the same time. We'll play the cheers and the cake. Okay, so, but it wasn't a cake
I'll be
like we
prepared
think.
next time. I'll have questions. I'll have my own
Okay,
question.
you see what's happening
Yes.
right
I
now.
really
Yes.
want to go dig into the fig because the fig, I thought it was fig cake, to be honest with you.
What, in Song of
Song of
Solomon?
Solomon?
I thought it had something to do with raisins because I just remember people talking about raisins and people's bringing raisin bread to church all of a sudden, and everybody's all crazy about raisins
see.
there for a while. I don't know. But isn't the fig just a big raisin anyway, or is it? Is it, or is it
Isaiah
not?
38:21, the cake of figs.
Oh, okay. All right.
Let them make a cake of figs.
Fig cakes are mentioned in the Bible for their medicinal and symbolic uses.
Yep.
So raisins was a different thing.
In the healing of King Hezekiah's boil in 2 Kings 20.
Hezekiah? What a name.
Whatever I said.
Okay, that was
Hezekiah.
that's
Abracadabra, is that in there?
magician was. Let's take a break. Come back. We'll tell you bye.
Oh, wow. What a great contestant and a fine sport today on Inny or Outty, America's almost favorite new game show. Study up, future guest people. You're next in the hot seat for Inny or Outty.
Okay, Becky, week 2 of being on the MTB program. What do you think?
It's not as bad as I anticipated.
No, it's fun. It's very
I'll be
loose
back
and
if
it's
you have me.
fun. And,
I tell you what's really fun is a girls' night. Sometimes we've had like 2 or 3 of the ladies in here. Get Sarah and
when they're all
Susan.
mixed, yeah. We call it the Preacher's Wives series.
You should do some kids.
I have thought about that. I just haven't thought about exactly how to do it. You couldn't do this whole thing exactly like this.
Yeah.
What I think would be fun with kids is just just an episode of Innie or Audi
That would be hysterical.
to hear their conversations, trying to come to an answer. We'll do that. We'll set that up and do that.
Cheese balls.
Cheese balls. That's pretty good.
Yeah, wasn't that funny?
Yeah.
That's so funny because he needed his energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Fantastic.
gang, it was fun. Glad to have you. And Becky, we'll have you back on sometime
Thank you
or
very
another.
much.
And HD will have you back too on the next one,
On the next one.
and the one after that, et cetera, et cetera. Anyway, I'm Mike the Baptist, and y'all are who you are, and we had a good time. Hope you come back and join us next week. We are gaining some watchers, so I don't know who some of you are, but I'm glad you're coming. Some of you don't know who I am either, so it all works out. In the meantime, remember, folks, we're all just Christians.
Try not to guess.
There you
Yes,
go.
we are, and we're trying hard. That was it.
Okay.
Mike the Baptist.